I'm Elila Liberté. Why tariffs have halted production of a Mount Horeb small business's newest product.
And your Memorial Day weekend is right around the corner. Are we going to skip out on any rain chances? Details in the full forecast.
Plus, state Democrats look to extend a pandemic-era child care program after Republicans take it out of the state budget.
And Wisconsin Dells getting ready to kick off the summer season. We'll hear from some early tourists and what they find so special about the area. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. And good evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Since President Trump took office, he's introduced tariffs on many countries.
And those tariffs caused a small business in Mount Horeb to pause production of a new product. Our Elila Liberté shows us how the owner is dealing with increased expenses.
Brick Cider in Mount Horeb is a farm-to-table restaurant, and right now they're bottling their raspberry cider. But it's actually this bottle that's causing them concern. The familiar sounds of bottling hard ciders weren't always certain for Matt Raboyne.
I remember our first year just thinking we were just going to go under.
For the past 6 years, he's owned Brick Cider with his wife.
80% of restaurants fail in their first 5 years.
And although he's beaten the odds,
Everything's tight as a small business.
tariffs are his latest hurdle. His newest product is a cream liqueur.
It's a product we've been wanting to do for a while.
And to stand out against competitors, he wants it to come in this specific bottle.
Something like the milkman used to bring, like an old-time milk jug.
A bottle he could only find in his price range and design in China. But when tariffs on China hit 145%, he paused production.
And you make it 145% tariff, and all of a sudden it's like over $36,000. And, and I don't just have $36,000 to shell out for a tax, essentially.
Tariffs on China have since dropped to about 30%, a price Matt says he's willing to pay.
I'm sure everybody's ordering things right now to get in before potentially they go up again. So I worry about it getting stuck in the port and sitting there forever before I pay the tariff on it.
6 years later, he knows one thing for sure.
There's just a lot of uncertainty, I would say.
Reporting in Mount Horeb, Elila Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. And Matt estimates the price of his product could go up 60 cents a bottle. He's also seen prices start to tick up on other expenses like coffee and boxes.
Well, to weather now, conditions are clearing up ahead of the holiday weekend. Let's check in with meteorologist Blaze Keller out on the weather patio.
And it is a pleasant afternoon on the southwest side of Madison. Seeing some sunshine here and there, a little bit of cloud cover as well. As expected, our high pressure system is moving on in, and it's going to keep us quiet as we head into Friday and then further into the Memorial Day weekend. Very similar conditions to what we saw today should be expected for Friday. Maybe more sunshine by Saturday and Sunday. For your Memorial Day Monday, mid to upper 60s with light northerly winds. Now, a stray shower can't be ruled out both Sunday and Monday, but I think for the most part, we stay dry as we get ready for the weekend. 60 in Madison, 61 in Cross Plains, 59 in Stoughton. A wider view across southern Wisconsin shows a lot of us have now climbed into those upper 50s to low 60s, certainly warmer than the same time yesterday. Again, that high pressure system is going to keep us quiet, and it's also going to keep us cool tonight. Once again, upper 30s to low 40s, patchy frost can't be ruled out as temperatures dip to these pretty chilly temperatures for this time of year. Now, as we look ahead to our next work week, we're beginning to wrap up the days left in May. Is there any more rain in the forecast? And what about our temperatures? Do they warm up? We're tracking it out in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. The man convicted of killing a UW-Madison student inside her downtown Madison apartment is now dead. According to online court records, 59-year-old David Call was being housed at the Dodge Correctional Institution. The cause of his death is unknown at this time. And back in 2022, Call pleaded guilty to first-degree intentional homicide for the 2008 Madison murder of Brittany Zimmerman. Zimmerman, a student at UW-Madison from Marshfield, was found dead in her apartment on West Doty Street. Police say she had just returned home from classes when someone followed her into her apartment and killed her. Call was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of extended supervision.
A preliminary hearing is now set for the man accused of triple homicide in New Lisbon. Virgil Thu appeared in court today and is charged with 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Thu appeared in court earlier today where prosecutors allege he killed 33-year-old Elizabeth Kolba as well as a 12- and 13-year-old girl. Their bodies were found at a New Lisbon home on December 30th, 2024. Thu was arrested January January 9th. He allegedly admitted to shooting all 3 victims and identified the murder weapon. He is scheduled to be back in court August 21st.
There's still no sign of the man who went missing last week after his boat flipped over on Lake Monona. Recovery efforts got back underway today after being paused due to the weather yesterday. Back on Friday, a sailboat attached to a kayak capsized. 1 boater drifted to shore on the boat. 3 others stayed in the kayak, but one of those people who was not wearing a life jacket went missing. As crews search, divers will be on standby in case they find something in the lake they believe is the missing boater's body. New video shows the interaction Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan had with federal immigration agents that led to her arrest, and she's now going to trial for charges that she helped an undocumented man evade ICE agents. Now, this first clip shows the man, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, in the hallway walking toward Judge Dugan's courtroom with his lawyer. On the benches in the hallway, you can see federal agents in plain clothes. A few minutes after Flores Ruiz walks into the courtroom, Dugan and another official come out into the hallway. They are seen speaking with federal agents. But moments later, the agents are led through the hallway. Court records allege this was because Dugan told them they had to talk to the chief judge before detaining Flores Ruiz. This video could be used as evidence against Dugan in her trial, which begins the week of July 21st. Well, at the state capitol, Democrats are looking to extend a pandemic-era child care program that Republicans took out of the state budget.
Hundreds of Wisconsin's child care providers reported that they would likely have to close without the funding, while more than 1,000 report they'd have to raise the tuition. Arman Rahman has more on the Democrats' plan to keep more classrooms open and affordable.
Wisconsin Democratic lawmakers have introduced a new bill to continue funding child care counts, as many child care providers in the state are counting down for when they fear the checks will stop coming in from the state. How old are you, Zadie?
6.
Zadie Contreras may be in school now, but before she had to be in daycare.
Just everywhere it's just been pretty expensive.
Just how expensive?
Oh man, we were looking at like a couple thousand, yeah.
And things may not get better if child care counts is allowed to run out June 30th.
Child care can't wait. We have a program that we know works. Child care counts works.
That's why Democratic lawmakers have proposed using $480 million to keep it going. Senator Kelder Roys of Madison says in the few weeks since the Republican-controlled Joint Finance Committee took it out of Governor Tony Evers' biennial budget, they heard of 5 child care providers who already announced they're closing, one here in Dane County. The more that happens, the more some parents quit their jobs.
Families can't survive on one income in this economy.
Or for the Contrerases, reach out for other support.
So what ended up happening is that my parents had to change their time schedules, so they're helping us. Wow. Yeah, because of how expensive childcare is nowadays.
Republican lawmakers have told News 3 Now they are working on a solution that's more sustainable and not a Band-Aid.
Republicans keep rejecting it, but they are talking about is deregulating childcare and making it less safe. That's not what parents need.
Roy says childcare is too expensive already, as she experienced when her youngest son was a year old.
We had 2 kids in college at a public university at the University of Minnesota. 2 kids in college cost less than daycare for our baby.
Meanwhile, parents like Jose and Gabby are hoping costs come down for Zadie's little sister.
You want to be able to make sure you can have the best for your kids,
Reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
And when asked how she feels about their spending proposal passing the Joint Finance Committee, Senator Roy says she was not super hopeful. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, the new warning labels coming to the COVID-19 vaccine.
Plus, why cheaper weight loss drugs may now be a thing of the past and what it means for people using them. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back, everyone. The FDA will now require COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna to come with new warning labels. The shots already come with a warning about a heart inflammation called myocarditis, but Moderna's warning indicates it's a risk for 18 to 24-year-old males, while Pfizer indicates 12 to 17-year-old boys. So moving forward, both shots will change that range for males 16 to 25. Myocarditis is extremely rare and resolves quickly. Heart inflammation has been seen in about 38 males per million in the newly indicated age group.
Well, weight loss drugs that were affordable for many Americans may be out of reach as of today. A loophole that allowed compounding pharmacies to make cheaper generic versions of drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy has closed, and that could drive up monthly costs by a few $100s for many users. 2 drug makers are offering direct-to-consumer sales for $500 or less a month.
Your other option is to see if your doctor can access some kind of patient assistance program or a clinical trial to get you the drug that way.
Dr. Gounder says another problem with the off-brands is they used research-grade semaglutide, the medication in these drugs, which she says is not sterile. Still more ahead on News 3 Now at 6, including the new headliner at Bratfest.
Also, the water park capital of the world gets ready for another busy summer season.
And how's the weather looking for this holiday weekend? Blaze returns with his complete forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, maybe it's the itch for summer or the love of the holiday, but Memorial Day weekend is expected to be the busiest travel day of the year so far.
And we will see many of those travelers right here in the Badger State. Our Merrill Hubbard brings us to the Wisconsin Dells ahead of its summer kickoff.
Right now, it's the calm before the storm here at the Wisconsin Dells, as we're just days away from tens of thousands of people flocking here for Memorial Day. Now, believe it or not, it's my first time here at the Wisconsin Dells, but for many families, visiting is a tradition.
We just like to come out here. This is about our third time we've done this in the last 10 years.
Cindy Van Zee and her family are visiting the Dells, and they are far from home.
We are from Armour, South Dakota. It's 7 hours, but it takes longer with stops and children.
While juggling 4 kids is no easy task, Sarah Wright says they all stay entertained.
Great water park, a lot of fun for the kids, lots of things to do, lots of activities.
The Wisconsin Dells is the water park capital of the world, bringing in tourists from all over the Midwest and country, many more than once.
The Dells is a place that we constantly hear stories of people who will say, I came here as a kid, now I'm bringing my kids, my grandparents brought me. You know, it's a generational thing.
Andy Larson with the Wisconsin Dells Visitor and Convention Bureau says about 5 million visitors come every year. 40% of them come during the summer months.
Everyone's gearing up right now, and I think the excitement in the air is palpable. So I think it'll be a great vibe this weekend.
As for Cindy and Sarah, they say the trip is worth the long travels.
Why would you drive, 7-8 hours with 4 kids to come out here?
I think we're crazy, but there's lots of activities to do here. We love Timbavati Wildlife Park. We're gonna go to the Deer Park later today. Everybody is super friendly.
Reporting in the Wisconsin Dells, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
And a brave mom, I have to say. For more information on activities at the Dells, you can visit WISC-TV.com.
Bratfest has a new headliner. This comes after solo artist Ace Frehley, best known as the Spaceman from the rock group Kiss, had to cancel his performance this weekend. Organizers say Frehley canceled due to illness. Grammy-nominated hard rock band Winger will now headline the festival. VIP ticket holders will be contacted with the next steps here. Bratfest kicks off tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Organizers also encourage everyone to check Bratfest social media pages for updates.
And if you're looking for a way to keep your family cool this summer, it will be warm eventually. A splash pad in Middleton is opening for the season tomorrow. The Lakeview Splash Pad is free and includes water features for and places for parents to hang out in the shade. That's key. Plus, this pad is fully accessible and safe for all ages. The splash pad is in Lakeview Park along Lake Mendota Avenue in Middleton, and it will be open through Labor Day. And these temperatures warming up a bit ahead of the holiday weekend. We have Blaze with the full forecast.
That's right. We're now in the 60s. We were in the upper 40s to low 50s, so it does feel warmer out there because it is. And we're going to continue to sit underneath these 60s through at least the middle of next week. And then we usher in more of that summer-like air. High pressure overhead is going to bring us partly sunny conditions for Friday and keep us dry through your Memorial Day weekend and further into Memorial Day. Overnight, not only this evening, but Friday night. Because of the cool temperatures, we may see some patchy frost develop as northwestern Wisconsin tonight is under yet another frost advisory. As we go into Friday, partly sunny conditions, our high pressure system beginning to slowly move its way overhead. And with sinking air, high pressure systems act like a big weather bubble. They just push every other weather system anywhere else. So that's what's really going to be happening here as we go into our weekend at a perfect time too. There's a lot going on. We mentioned Bratfest, obviously Memorial Day. So we have nice weather conditions, maybe an isolated shower Sunday and Monday, but emphasis on the isolated. Not everybody will see that. Temperature wise though, it could be a little bit warmer as the unofficial start of summer. And those warmer temperatures do arrive as we go into the second half of next week, which is when we start to see the return of rain chances. We got to get the southerly winds to move in that moisture and kick out this high pressure system. As I mentioned, they are a big weather bubble, a big shield, and the stronger they are, the stronger they're at keeping other systems away. So where does our rain go over the next 10 days? Either to our west, our southwest, or to our south, or it stays off to our east. Pretty much anywhere but overhead. This is dragged out all the way to the next Sunday. So this is at the end of our extended forecast. 10 days, and we may pick up 1/4 inch of rain. We could always use a little bit more, but at least for the Madison area, we've accumulated over 4 inches of rain so far for the month, surpassing what we normally pick up for an average May, which is about 3.56 inches of rain. So we don't really need any more in the Madison area. But if we look across the entire state from the start of the month through yesterday's date, this includes the rainy couple of days here, anybody in the yellow is missing about 1/2 inch or more. Once we get into northern Wisconsin in these browns, that's 1.5 inches, and these more distinct oranges indicating at least 2 inches of missing rain. So we could always use more, especially further to the north, and with moderate drought conditions persisting across southern Wisconsin, we could use some along the state line as well. As we look ahead to Friday, we are anticipating quiet conditions, but over the next couple of hours here, it is going to be quiet. If you want to head out later this evening, you can also maybe give the AC a break. I'm sure it's been on a break for a while, but maybe you want to welcome in some fresh air. We'll be in the upper 30s to low 40s. There is a look at your 7 and 10 day forecast. As I mentioned, little to no rain chances over the next 10 days. An isolated shower Sunday and Memorial Day, but I think the best chance is actually going to hold off until Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week.
And at some point, we'll get to crack windows.
Yeah, at some point it's going to feel like summer again.
Turn off the furnace just in time for June.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Blaze.
Well, despite the weather, the sports go on. A lot of Badger teams in business these days.
Yeah, it's more fun when the weather's nice to be outside, running, jumping, throwing. Coming up in sports, Badgers, they're heading to Texas A&M for the first round of the NCAAs. Well, they say they're feeling good after their performance over the weekend. That's next on News 3 Now. What a weekend in Eugene it was for Jason Swarens and Wisconsin men's track and field. As a team, they took home second place, crowning 3 Big Ten champs, and it was a meet of redemption for Swarens. Last year, he didn't make the finals in the shot put at the Big Ten Outdoors. Well, Saturday, he stood atop the podium, becoming the first Badger in 25 years to win a Big Ten Outdoor shot put crown, completing the shot put sweep after taking home the indoor title earlier this season.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, last year didn't go as planned, so definitely had a chip on my shoulder. Went out there on the first throw and got a mark that'll take me to finals, and then just had fun from there.
Up next for Swarens and Wisconsin, a trip to Texas A&M for the NCAA West first round. Now, the men's team is bringing 17 Badgers to compete for spots at the Outdoor Track and Field Championships. And after their performance in the Big Tens, the Badgers are feeling pretty confident they can make some noise at College Station.
We have a lot of guys going and a lot of good guys, and we're ranked pretty high in the nation. I think we can definitely get up there in that top 10, top 15, so that'd be nice to see. I feel like Badger track is underrated, and especially because we don't have an indoor track, and we went into indoor season, got 3rd place at Big Tens, and then we placed, I think, 18th nationally, somewhere around there, and then, we go on to outdoors, place 2nd at Big Tens.
Well, Whitewater softball moved one step closer toward a trip to the Division III World Series after beating St. Mary's University 5-3 in Game 1 of their Super Regional. Game 2 is tomorrow at 1:30 in Winona. The win was head coach Brenda Volk's 800th at Whitewater. And the Packers kick off OTAs next week, but before that, Jordan Love will take the mound in Milwaukee to throw out the first pitch at the Brewers-Red Sox game on Memorial Day. And QB1 won't really have to warm up for it. Remember, he's hosting the Green Bay charity softball game tomorrow night. Let's hope he throws a little better than John Tonjek did at the White Sox game.
Yeah, don't throw too hard.
Yeah.
I want that arm staying healthy. Well, tonight at 10, college and grad students are at risk of losing access to loan and grant programs That's thanks to a federal bill making its way through the legislature. Our Maddie Himes breaks down what it means for Wisconsin's education and also the state's economy. That story and more tonight. News 3 Now at 10.
And now all eyes on weather for the big weekend coming up.
And it's going to be boring, which is fine.
That's not bad.
No. We've had a rainy couple of days. We also coming off the heels of some pretty bad severe weather, so we could use boring as we're planning out Friday. Maybe you start the weekend a little bit early. 40s in the morning, 50s by the late morning, 60s by the early afternoon. Partly sunny conditions, a little bit more sunshine tomorrow than what we saw today. And the nice conditions stick around through your Memorial Day and even beyond that into Tuesday. We're looking at pleasant temperatures, and we're going to see it underneath partly sunny conditions for not only Memorial Day but through the weekend as well. Upper 60s to low 70s Tuesday, maybe more 70s than upper 60s hopefully, but we could see all 70s starting Wednesday, and that's when we see a better chance at least for isolated showers and thunderstorms before the 80s by next weekend.
Looking forward to that. Blaze, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 6. Coming up next, Entertainment Tonight.
And our next newscast is coming up at 10. And you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+.